Mr. Cargill. Frederick Treves, your new lecturer in anatomy.
Age 31. Books on scrofula and applied surgical anatomy. I'm happy to see you rising, Mr. Treves. I like to see Merrick credited and your industry, accomplishment, and skill all do you credit. Ignore the squalor of Whitechapel, the general dinginess, neglect, and poverty without, and you will find the continual medical richness in the London hospital. We study and treat a wide range of diseases and disorders, and we are certainly the greatest institution of our kind in the world. The Empire provides many opportunities for our studies, as places cruel to life are the most revealing scientifically. Add to our reputation by going further, and that'll satisfy. You bought a house?
Ah, on Wimple Street.
Good. Keep at it, Treves. You'll have your FRS and 100 guinea fees before you're 40. You'll find it's an excellent consolation prize.
Consolation? I don't quite know what you mean.
I know you don't. You will.
Happy childhood in Dorset. Scientist in an age of science. In an English age, an Englishman. A teacher and a doctor at the London. 2 books published by my 31st year. A house, a wife who loves me, and my God, 100 guinea fees before I'm 40. Consolation for what? As of the year AD 1884, I, Freddie Treves, have excessive blessings. Or so it seems to me.
Tuppence only! Step in and see this sword of the grave. John Merrick has no expectation of relief. His physical agonies exceeded only by his mental anguish, or despised creature without consolation. Tuppence only! Step in and see! To live with this physical hideousness, incapacitating deformities, in unremitting pain is trial enough. But to be exposed to the cruelly lacerating expressions of awe and disgust by all who behold him is even more difficult to bear. Tuppence only! Step in and see! For in order to survive, Merrick forced himself to suffer these humiliations, or repeat humiliations in order to survive. Thus, he exposed himself to the crowds who paid to gape and yawn at the freak of nature, the elephant man. See Mother Nature unconsiderate and malignant rage. Tuppence.
That sounds absurd. Half elephant, half man is not possible. Is he foreign?
Right, from Leicester, but nothing to fear.
I'm at the London across the road. I'd be curious to see him if there is some genuine disorder. If he is a mass of papier-mâché and paint.
Convey me nothing. Enter, sir. Merrick! Stand up, you bloody donkey! Oh!
I must examine him further at the hospital. Here is my card. I'm Treves. I will have a cab pick him up and return him. My card will gain him admittance.
For $5 bob, he's yours for the day.
I wish to examine him in the interest of science, you see.
Sir, on Rose. We'll look after him. Get him his living. Found him in a workhouse in Leicester. His own market in there. Age of 3. Couldn't bear the sight. Well, you can see why. We Well, he and I, we are in business together. There's all capital, you see. Go to a bank, go anywhere. You want to borrow capital, you've got to pay interest. Scientist, Stephen. He's good value, though. You won't find another like him.
Fair enough.
Right. Merrick! Out, you bloody donkey! Out!
The most striking feature about him was his enormous head. Its circumference was about that of a man's waist. From the brow, there projected a large bony mass, like a loaf, while from the back of the head hung a bag of spongy, fungus-looking skin, the surface of which was comparable to brown cauliflower. On top of the skull were a few long, lank hairs. The osseous growth on the forehead, at this stage about the size of a tangerine, almost occluded one eye. From the mouth projected a large bony mass, and it protruded from the upper jaw, turning the mouth inside out and making the mouth a wide, slobbering aperture. The nose was merely a lump of flesh, only recognizable as a nose from its position. The deformities rendered the face utterly incapable of the expression of any emotion whatsoever. The back was horrible, because from it hung, as far down as the middle of the thigh, huge sack-like masses of the same repulsive cauliflower stain. The right arm was of enormous size and shapeless. It suggested, but was not elephantiasis, and was overgrown also with pendant masses of the same cauliflower-like skin. The right hand was large and clumsy, a fin or paddle rather than a hand. No distinction existed between the palm and the back. The thumb was like a radish, the fingers like thick tuberous roots. As a limb, it was useless. The other arm was remarkable by contrast. Not only was it normal, but moreover a delicately shaped limb, covered in a fine skin, and provided a beautiful hand which any woman might have envied. From the chest hung a bag of the same repulsive flesh. It was like a dewlap suspended from the neck of a lizard. The lower limbs had the characters of the deformed arm. They were unwieldy, dropsical-looking, and grossly misshapen. There arose from the fungus skin growths a most sickening stench which was hard to tolerate. To add further burden to his problems, the wretched man, when as a boy, developed hip disease, which left him permanently lame so that he could only walk with a stick. Please. He was thus denied all means of escape from his tormentors.
Mr. Treves, you have shown profound and unknown authority to us. You have suddenly leaves here. This was execution again. I do not think it ought to be permitted.
It is a disgrace. It is a pity and a disgrace. It is an indecency, in fact. It may be a danger in ways we do not know. Something ought to be done about it.
I am a doctor. What would you have me do?
I know what to do. I know what to do.
Now, my keen-headed darlings, your attention, please. Every freak in Brussels Fair is doing something to celebrate Leopold's 5th year as King of the Congo. Him! Our king! Our empire!
We are the queens of the crown. The beautiful mountain.
Recite yet, you morons! I'll say when. And when you do, get it right. You don't. It's back to the asylum. Know what that means, don't you? They'll cut your heads! They'll spoon out your little brains. Replace them in the dachshunds they were nicked from. Cut you. Yeah. Be back with customers. Come see the queens of the Congo. Come see the queens of the Congo.
Cosmos? Cosmos? Congo, land of darkness. Look at them, lad. Loads of indecency here. Downward boys. Freer on the continent. You won't get copper sit round the roasty roadblock in London. I reckon in Brussels here's our coaching. You have a little tete-a-tete with this law. While I go see the coppers about our license to exhibit. I'll be right, boss.
I come from England. At home, they chased us out of London. Nice. Well, someone complained that they beat me. You have no trouble now? Hello. In Belgium, we make money. I look forward to it. Well, happiness, I mean. You pay your police. How is it done? Do a show together sometime, yes? I have saved £48, 2 shillings, 9 pence. English money. Ross takes care of it. Little vocabulary problem, eh? Poor thing. Look like they put your noses to the grindstones and forgot to take them away.
Oh, they're coming! They're coming!
those words right, girls. Or you know what?
Don't cry, girl. You sang nicely. Don't cry. I was promised a permit. I lined up a tour, but
This is a brutal, immoral, and indecent display. It is a public indecency, and it's forbidden here.
what about them and their perfect cownets?
They are ours.
Competition's good for business. Where's your spirit of competition?
Right there.
Oh, don't do that. You'll kill it.
Be better off dead, indecent bastard.
Don't cry, girls. It doesn't hurt. Austin will always mean bad memories, won't it, Ross? I've decided. I'm sending you back, lad. You're a flop. No, you're a liability. You ain't the money maker I figured, and that's it. Alone? Here's a few bob. Have a nosh. Oh, I'm keeping the rest for myself. I deserve it, I reckon, for my trouble. Invested enough in you. I'll pick up your stink if I hang around. Stink of failure. Stink of lost years. Just stink.
Mr. One?
See him to Liverpool Street Station, will you? Here's for your trouble.
Robbed? What's he say?
Just make sounds. Fella's an imbecile.
Robbed!
On by ours, Johnny.
Yes.
His name's Johnny. He knows his name, but that's all, though.
God, don't follow him, Johnny. Don't follow him, Johnny. Come on the bed, Johnny. Johnny, don't struggle, Johnny. Johnny, conductor, find Johnny. Seat out of sight. Johnny. That's it, Johnny. Robbed! Robbed! Robbed!
We're safe in here. I barred the door.
They wanted to rip him to pieces. I never saw anything like it. Like being gone that bleeding cartoon.
Got so much to go in London, lad. Gotta stay here.
He's an imbecile. He don't understand. Search him.
Got any money?
Robbed.
What's that?
Just make sounds. Frightened sounds is all he makes. Go through his coat.
Oh, don't let me go through your coat and I'll turn you over to that lodge.
No.
Oh, I was joking. Don't upset yourself.
Joe? Joe?
Sure. Grope. He's got a card here. You Johnny Merrick? Where'd you get this card, Johnny? Someone give you a card?
What's it say?
It says Mr. Frederick Treves, lecture in anatomy, London Hospital.
I'll go see if I can find him. It's not far from here.
What's he do? Lecture you on your anatomy? People who think right don't look like that then, do they? That's right, glong. Sure, trees.
What is going on here? Have you no sense of decency? Look at that mob. I am Frederick Treves. This is my card.
This poor wretch you had it. Right from Austin.
Good Lord. Merrick? John Merrick? What has happened to you?
Help me. Help me.
Miss Sandwich?
Sandwich, yes.
Oh, you have had experience in missionary hospitals in the Nigeria.
And Ceylon.
I may assume you've seen...
The tropics, oh, those diseases, the many and the awful scourges our Lord sends. Yes, sir.
I need the help of an experienced nurse, you see.
Someone to bring him food, take care of the room. Yes, I understand. But it is somehow difficult.
Well, I've been let down so far. He really is. That is, the regular sisters. Well, it is not part of their job, and they will not do it. Be ordinarily kind to Mr. Merrick without, well, panicking. He really is beyond ugly. You understand that? His appearance has terrified them.
The photographs show a terrible disease.
It is a disorder, not a disease. It is in no way contagious, although in fact we don't know what it is. I have found, however, a deep superstition among those I've tried. They actually believe he brought it on himself, this thing, and of course it is not that at all.
I'm not one of those who believes it is ourselves who attain grace or bring chastisement to us,
Miss
sir.
Sandwich, I am hoping not.
Let me put your mind to rest. Care for lepers in the East, and you have cared, Mr. Treves. In Africa, I have seen dreadful scourges, quite unknown to our more civilized climes. What at home could be worse than a miserable and afflicted rotting leper?
I imagine.
Appearances do not daunt me.
It is really that has led me outside the confines of the London seeking help.
I look unto the hills whence cometh my help. I understand. I think I will be satisfactory.
Is lunch?
Perhaps you would be so kind as to accompany me this time. I will introduce you.
Allow me to carry the tray.
I will this time. You are ready?
I am.
Oh. He is bathing to be rid of his odor. John, my boy, this is Miss Sandwich. She would much.
Oh, my God, God in heaven!
I am sorry. I thought that.
Thank you for saving the lunch this time.
Excuse me. You have let me down, you know. I did everything to warn you, and you still let me down.
You didn't say.
But I
didn't. You said just
But
words.
the photographs.
Just pictures. No one will do this. I am sorry.
Yes, well, this is not helping him.
With what fortitude he bears his cross. It is remarkable. He's made the acquaintance of religion and knows sections of the Bible by heart. Once I grasped his speech, it became clear he certainly had religious instruction at one time.
I believe it was in the workhouse, Dr. Howe.
Yes, they're awfully good about that sometimes. The Psalms he loves. And the book of Job perplexes him, he says, for he cannot see that a just God must cause suffering, as he puts it, merely then to be merciful. Yet that Christ will save him, he does not doubt. So he's not resentful.
Christ had better. He's damned if we can.
In any case, Mr. Treves, he has a religious nature. Further instruction would uplift him, and I'd be pleased to provide it. I plan to speak him from the pulpit this week.
I see our visiting bather has flushed the busy Bishop Howe from his cruciform lair.
Speak with Merrick, sir. I have spoken to him of mercy and justice. There's a true Christian in the rough.
Well, this makes my news sound banal. Yet, Frederick, the response to my letter to the Times about Merrick has been staggering. The English public has been so generous that Merrick may be supported for life without a penny spent from hospital
But
funds.
that is excellent.
God bless the English public.
Especially for not dismembering him at Liverpool Street Station. Freddie, the London is no home for incurables. This is quite irregular. But for you I will permit it, though God knows what you will do.
God does know, sir. Darwin does not.
He better, sir. He deformed him.
I had apprehensions coming here, but I find it most fortunate that Merrick is in the hands of Dr. Treves. A Christian, sir.
Freddie is a good man and a brilliant doctor, and that is fortunate indeed.
I couldn't have raised those funds, though, Doctor.
Don't let me keep you longer from your duties, Mr. Treves. Yet, Mr. Gom, consider. Is it science, sir, that motivates us when we transport English rule of law to India or Ireland? When good British churchmen leave hearth and home for missionary hardships in Africa? Is it science, sir, that bears them away? Sir, it is not. It is Christian duty. It is the obligation to bring our light and benefices to benighted man. That's what motivates us. Just as it motivates Treves towards Merrick, sir, to bring salvation where none is. Gordon was a Christian, sir, and died at Khartoum for it. Not for science, sir.
You're telling me not for science?
I'll visit Merrick weekly if I may, Mr. Treves.
You will be welcome, sir, I am certain.
Then good day to you, sirs.
Well, Jesus, my boy, now that we have the money, what do you plan for Merrick?
Normality as far as is possible.
So he will be like us? Ah.
Is there something wrong, Mr. Gom? With us? Why, you may stay for life. The funds exist.
In reading this, about homes for the blind, whence mine goes to one when I have to move.
But you do not have to move, and you are not blind.
I would prefer it where no one stared at me.
Nobody will bother you here.
Certainly not. I've given instructions.
What would I tell you? God Almighty!
Oh, Mr. Treves, Mr. Gom, you were told not to do this. I don't understand. You must not lurk about. Surely you have work.
Yes, sir.
Well, this is infuriating. When you are told a thing, you must listen. I will not have you gaping in on my patients. Kindly remember that.
Isn't the patient,
Do
sir?
not
is he?
let me catch you here again.
Yes, sir. Didn't know you were here, sir. We'll be off now.
No, Will. Mr. Treves was precisely saying no one would intrude when you intruded.
He is warned now. Merrick does not like it.
He was warned before. On what penalty, Will?
Did sack me, sir.
You're sacked, Will. You, his friend, you work here?
Just started last week.
Well, I hope the point is taken now.
Mr. Gom, I ain't truly sacked, am I, sir?
Well, yes, you are truly sacked. You will never be more truly sacked.
But it's not me, it's my wife. She's been ill. Well, more sisters had to look after her, I guess.
Think of them first, next time.
Well, it ain't as if I interfere with his medicine.
That is exactly what it is. You may go.
Just keeping a lookout in private. That's all, isn't it?
There are priorities, Frederick. The first is discipline. Smooth is the passage to the tight ship's master. Merrick, you are safe from prying now.
Have we nothing to say, John?
Well, if all that had stared at me been sacked, well, we've had whole towns out of work.
I meant, thank you, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We always do say please and thank you, don't we?
Yes, sir.
If we want to properly be like others,
Yes, sir, I want to.
then it is for our own good, is it not?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Carr.
Sir, you are welcome.
You are happy here, are you not, John?
Yes, sir.
The baths have rid you of the odor, have they not?
First chance I've had to bathe regularly.
And 3 meals a day delivered to your room?
Yes, sir.
This is your promised land, is it not? A roof, food, protection, care, is it not?
Right, Mr. Treves.
I bet you do not know what to call this.
No, sir, I don't know.
You call it home.
Never had a home.
Well, you have one now. Say it, John. Home.
Home.
No. Really say it. I have a home. This is mine. Go on.
I have a home. This is my home. This is my home. I have a home for as long as I want.
That is what home is.
That is what is home.
If I abide by the rules, I will be happy.
Yes, sir.
Don't be shy, John.
If I abide by the rules, I will be happy.
Very good. Why?
Because it is my home.
No. Why do rules make you happy?
I don't know.
Of course you do.
No, sir, I don't.
Oh, why does anything make you happy?
Like what? Like what?
Don't be upset. Rules make us happy because they are for our own good.
Okay.
Don't be shy, John. You can say it.
This is my home.
No, about rules making us happy.
They make us happy because they are for our own good.
Excellent. Now, I am submitting a follow-up paper on you to the London Pathological Society, and it would help if you told me what you recall about your early years, John, to fill in gaps.
To fill in gaps. The workhouse where they put me. They beat you there like a drum. Boom. Boom. Scrape the floor white. Shine the pan. Boom. Boom. It never ends. The floor is always dirty. And the pan is always tarnished. There's nothing you can do about it. You're always attacked anyway. Boom. Boom.
children.
The children, the man who sacked.
Of necessity, we'll find other employment. You don't want crowds staring at you, do you?
No.
In your own home, you do not have to have crowds staring at you. Or anyone, do you?
No.
In your own home?
No, sir.
Then Mr. Gum was merciful. You yourself are proof, is it not so? Well, is it not so?
If your mercy is so cruel, then what do you have for justice?
I am sorry. It is just the way things are. You have seen photographs of John Merrick, Mrs. Kendall. You are acquainted with his appearance.
He reminds me of an audience I played Cleopatra for in Brighton once. All huge, grim head and grimace and utterly unable to clap.
Well, my aim's to lead him to as normal a life as possible. His terror of us all comes from being held at arm's length from the rest of society. I am determined that shall end. For example, he loves to meet with people and converse. I am determined he shall. For example, he has never seen the inside of a normal home before. I had him over to mine, and what a reward, Mrs. Kendall. His joy, his astonishment at the most ordinary things. Most critical, I feel, however, are women. I will explain. They have always held the greatest fear and loathing for him. Well, he adores them, of course.
He is intelligent.
I am convinced that they are the key to retrieving him from his exclusion. I must warn you, though, women are not quite real to him, more creatures of his imagination.
Then he is already like other men, Mr. Treves.
So, I thought an actress could help. I mean, unlike most women, you won't give in. You have been trained to hide your true feelings and assume others.
You mean unlike most women, I am famous for it. That is really all.
Well, in any case, if you could enter the room and smile and wish him good morning, and when you leave, shake his hand. The left one is usable and really quite beautiful, and say, I'm very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick.
Shall we try it? Left hand out, please. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. No. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. No. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. Yes, that one.
By God, they're all splendid. Merrick will be so pleased. It will be a day he becomes a man like other men.
Speaking of that, Mr. Treves.
Frederick, please.
Freddie, may I commit an indiscretion? Well,
Yes.
I could not help but notice from the photographs that, of the unafflicted parts, how shall I put this?
Oh, I see. I quite understand. No. It is quite normal.
I thought as much.
Medically speaking, the papillomatous extrusions which disfigure him seem to correspond quite regularly to the osseous deformities. That is, there seems to be a link between the bone disorders and the skin growths. Of course, I don't know why or what it is, but in any case, this part would therefore unlikely be afflicted because there is no bone in it. None in it. None at all. I mean,
Well, learn a little every day, don't we?
I am horribly embarrassed.
Are you? Then he must be lonely indeed.
He is making sketches for a model of St. Philip's Church. He wants one day to build the model, you see? John, my boy, this is Mrs. Kendall. She would very much like to make your acquaintance.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
I will see to a few matters. I will be back soon.
I find so many things to say that I forget that you are so beautiful.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
Well, really, that is what I like to say. If I forget what I plan to say, I couldn't think of anything else. I was so excited.
Real charm is always planned, don't you think?
Well, I don't know why I look like this, Mrs. Kendall. My mother was so beautiful. She was knocked down by an elephant in a circus while she was pregnant. Something must have happened, don't you think?
It may well have.
Oh, it may well have. But sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams. Because it is. Do you know what happens when dreams cannot get out?
Why, no.
I don't either. Something must. Well, you are a famous actress.
I am not unknown.
You must display yourself for your living, then, like I do.
Oh, that is not myself, Mr. Merrick. That is an illusion. This is myself.
Oh, and this is myself, too.
Frederick says you like to read. So, books.
Oh, yes, yes. I am reading Romeo and Juliet now.
Ah, Juliet, what a love story. I adore love stories.
Oh, I like love stories best, too. If I had been Romeo, guess what?
What?
I would not have held a mirror to her breath.
You mean the scene where Juliet appears to be dead and he holds a mirror to her breath and sees nothing?
Nothing. Exactly. How does it feel when he kills himself because he sees nothing?
Well, my experience with Juliet has been, particularly with an actor I will not name, that while I'm laying there dead, and he is lamenting excessively, I get to thinking that if this slab of ham does not part from the ham hock of his life, toot sweet, I am going to scream, pop off the tube, and plunge a dagger into his scene-stealing heart. Romeos are very undependable.
Because he does not care for her.
Not care?
Does he take her pulse? Does he get a doctor? Does he make sure? No, he kills himself. The illusion fools him because he does not care for her. He only cares for himself. If I had been Romeo, we would have got away.
But then there would be no play, Mr. Merrick.
If he does not love her, why should there be a play? I mean, looking in a mirror and seeing nothing, that is not love. It was an illusion. When the illusion ended, he had to kill himself.
Why, that is extraordinary.
Before I spoke to people, I did not think of all these things because, well, I had no one to bother to think them for. Now things just come out of my mouth that are true.
You are famous, John. They've written up my report to the Pathological Society. Look, it is a kind of apotheosis for you.
Frederick. Freddie, I feel that Mr. Merrick would benefit by even more company than you provide. In fact, by being acquainted with the best, and they with him. I shall make it my task if you permit. As you know, I am a friend of nearly everyone, and I do pretty well as I please. And what pleases me is this task, I think.
My God, Mrs. Kendall, you are splendid.
Mr. Merrick, I must go now. I should like to return if I may. And so that we may without delay teach you about society, I would like to bring my good friend, Lady Dorothy Neville. She'd be most pleased if she could meet you. Let me tell her yes. Well then, until next time, I'm sure your church model will surprise us all. Mr. Merrick, it has been a very great pleasure to make your acquaintance.
John, your hand. She wishes to shake your hand.
Thank you for coming.
But it was my pleasure. Thank you.
What a marvelous success. Do you know he's never shook a woman's hand before?
Grace.
Oh, how nicely the model is coming along, Mr. Merrick. I've come to say Happy Christmas, and that I hope you will enjoy this ring. Here. And remember your friend by it.
Your Grace, thank you.
I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Please accept these silver-backed brushes and comb for Christmas, Mr. Merrick.
With many thanks, Countess.
I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Here's the gold-topped walking stick, Merrick.
Oh,
Make you a regular Piccadilly exquisite. Keep up the good work. Self-help is the best help. Example to us all.
Beauchamp, thank you. Thank you, Beauchamp.
Very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra.
The happiest of Christmases, Mr. Merrick.
Her Royal Highness brought you a signed photograph of herself.
Oh. Oh. I have honored your Royal Highness. It is the treasure of my possession. I have written to His Royal Highness, Prince of Wales, to thank him for the pheasants and the woodcock he sent.
You are a credit to Mr. Treves, Mr. Merrick. And Mr. Treves, you are a credit to medicine, to England, and to Christendom. I am very pleased to make your acquaintance.
Good news, John. Bertie says we may use the royal box whenever we like. Mrs. Campbell says it lends a unique perspective. And for Christmas, ivory-handled razors and a toothbrush.
And a cigarette case, my boy, full of cigarettes.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Look, Freddie, look. The model of St. Philip's.
It is remarkable, I know.
And I do it with just one hand, they all say.
You are an artist, John Merrick. An artist.
I did not begin to build at first. Not till I saw what St. Philip's really was. It is not just stone and steel and glass, but it is an imitation of grace, flying up and up from the mold. So I make my imitation of an imitation, but even in that is heaven to me, Mrs. Kendall.
That thought's got a good line, John. It was Plato that stated that all of this was a world of illusion. and that artists make illusions of heaven.
You mean we are all just copies of original?
That's it.
Who made the copy?
Oh God, the demiurge.
Oh, he should have used both hands, shouldn't he?
Why all these toilet articles? Tell me. He is much too deformed to use any of them.
Props, of course, to make himself, as I make me.
You think of yourself.
Well, he is gentle, almost feminine, cheerful, honest within limits, a serious artist in his own way. He's almost like me.
He is religious and devout. He knows salvation must radiate to us, or all is lost, which it's certainly not.
He seems practical like me. He's seen enough of daily evil to be thankful when small goods come his way. He knows what side his bread is buttered on and counts his blessings for it, like me.
I can speak with him of anything, for I know he is discreet, like me.
How odd. I find him curious, compassionate, concerned about the world. Well, rather like myself, Freddie Treves, AD 1889.
Of course he is rather odd and hurt and helpless not to show the struggling. So am I.
He knows I use him to raise funds for the London. I'm certain. He understands I would be derelict if I didn't. He's wary of any promises, and yet fits in well, like me.
I, as a seminarist, had many of the same doubts, struggled as he does, and hope they may be overcome.
When my husband, His Royal Highness Edward, Prince of Wales, asked Dr. Treves to be his personal surgeon, he said, "Dear Freddie, if you can put up with that elephant bloke, you can surely put up with me."
See him out of fashion, Freddie, as he sees me. Social contacts are critical. Oh, by the way, ignore the bloody papers. All lies.
Merrick, visibly worse than 86, 87. That, as he rises higher in the consolations of society, he gets visibly more grotesque, is proof definitive. He is like me. Like his condition, which I make no sense of, I make no sense of mine. But the papers are saying you broke the contracts. They're saying you lost the money.
Freddie, if I was such a scoundrel, how would I dare face investors like yourself. Broken contracts. I never considered them actual contracts. Just preliminary things to get the old deal underway. An actual contract is something between gentlemen. And this attack on me proves that they are no gentlemen. I'm only here to say that the company remains a terribly attractive proposition. Don't you think? To recapitalize, if you could spare another... Mr. Gong, how good to see you. Just remarking how splendidly Merrick thrives here. Thanks to you. And Freddie.
Lord John, allow me. I must take Frederick from you, keep him at work. It's in his contract. Wouldn't want him breaking it, sort of thing makes the world fly apart, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
Sorry to hear you're so pressed. Expect we'll be seeing less of you around the London now.
Yes, overdue, actually. Appointment in the city. Freddie? Mr. Gone?
Oh, he plain fooled me. He was kind to Merrick.
You have risen fast and easily, my boy. You forgot how to protect yourself. Right now.
It does not seem right somehow.
The man is a moral swamp. Is that not clear yet? Is he attractive? Deceit often is. Friendly? Swindlers can be. Another law? It may be your money, Freddie, but I will not tolerate laboring like a navvy that the London should represent honest, charitable, and compassionate science, and have titled swindlers mucking up the pitch. He has succeeded at destroying himself so rapidly that you ought not doubt it was his real aim all along. He has broken the contracts, gambled the money away, lied, and like an infant in his mess, gurgles and wants to do it again. Never mind the details, don't want to know. Break now. Don't hesitate, today. One man moral swamp. Don't be sucked in.
Have you seen the papers?
Oh, yes.
Yes, great pity. Freddie, today.
Freddie.
He has used us. I shall be all right. Come. John, I shall not be able to stay this visit. I have a few things I must unravel. Nurse Ireland and Snork are...
Friendly and respectful.
I will look in a few days.
To tie to something.
This is a hospital, not a marketplace. Don't forget it ever. Sorry, not you. Not you. Me.
Well, shall we weave today? Don't you think weaving might be fun? So many things are fun. Most men really can't enjoy them. Well, it's their loss, isn't it? I like little activities which engage me. There's something ancient in it, I don't know, before all this. Would you like to try? John?
Frederick said I may stay here for life.
And so you shall.
If he is in trouble.
Frederick is your protector, John.
If he is in trouble.
Who's that? Is that not your mother? Oh, she is pretty, isn't she?
Will Frederick keep his word with me? His contract, Mrs. Kendall, if he is in trouble?
What contract did you say?
And will you?
I? What will I?
The prince has a mistress. The Irishman had one. Everyone seems to. Or a wife. Some have both. I have concluded that I need a mistress. It is bad enough not to sleep like others.
Sitting up, you mean? Couldn't be very restful.
No, I have to. Too heavy to lie down, my head. But to sleep alone, that is worst of all.
The artist expresses his love through his works. That is civilization.
Are you very shocked?
Why should I be?
Others would be.
I am not others.
Then I suppose it is hopeless.
Nothing is hopeless. However, it is unlikely.
I thought you might have a few ideas.
I can guess who has ideas here.
You don't know something, Mrs. Kendall? I have never seen a naked woman.
Well, surely in all the fairs you've worked.
No. I mean a real woman.
Is one more real than another?
Like the ones in the theatre, the opera.
Surely you can't mean they are more real.
And the audience. A woman not worn out so early. You know, not deformed by awful life. A lady. Someone kept up, respectful of herself. You don't know what fairgrounds are like, Mrs. Kendall.
You mean like Princess Alexandra?
Oh, no, not so old.
Like Dorothy?
She doesn't look happy now.
Lady Ellen?
Too thin.
Who then?
Certain women. They have a kind of rightness. They seem to stop at a perfect point.
My dear, she doesn't exist.
Oh, that is probably why I have never seen her.
What would your friend Bishop Howe say of all this, I wonder?
He says I should put these things out of my mind.
Is that the best he can suggest?
I put them out of my mind, they reappear. Snap.
Well, what about Frederick?
Oh, he would be appalled if I told him.
I'm flattered. Too little trust has maimed my life, but that's another story.
Oh boy, what a rain. Are we going to read this afternoon, Mrs. Kendall?
Yes.
What?
It's, some women are lucky to look well, that is all. It's a rather arbitrary gift. It has no really good use, though it has its uses, I will say that. Anyway, it does not signify very much.
Oh, to me it does.
Well, you are mistaken.
What are we going to read this afternoon?
Trust is very important, you know. I trust you.
Thank you very much. I have a book of Thomas Hardy's here. He's a friend of Frederick's. Shall we read that?
Turn around a moment. Don't look.
Is this some sort of game?
I would not call it a game. A surprise.
What kind of surprise?
I saw photographs of you before I met you. You didn't know that, did you?
You mean the ones from the first time? In '84? No, I didn't.
I felt it was unjust somehow. I don't know why. I can't say that my sense of justice is my most highly developed characteristic. Well, you may turn around now. Huh. Little funny, isn't it?
It is the most beautiful sight I have seen. Ever.
If you tell anyone, I shall not see you again. We shall not talk, we shall not read, we shall do nothing. Wait a minute. There. No illusions now. Well, what is there to say? I'm extremely pleased to have made your acquaintance.
For God's sakes, what is going on here? What is going on?
For a moment. Paradise, Freddie.
Have you no sense of decency, woman? Dress yourself quickly. Are you not ashamed? Don't you know what you are? Don't you know what is forbidden?
I'm actually to ask your forgiveness.
I found a good home, Ross. I forgave you.
Well, I was hoping we could walk out a deal. There's something new, mate.
No.
See, I was going on. You were going on, like I said. Some things don't change. Got to put your money on the things that don't all figure. Oh, I figure what I read about you, you don't change. Dukes and ladies coming to see you. Ask myself why. Think it's same as always was. Makes them feel good about themselves by comparison. Some things don't change. They're there but for the grace of. So I figure you're still in the same service as always. Better clientele. Difference now is you ain't charging though.
You make me sound like a whore.
You are, I am, they are. Most are, John. No disgrace. Disgrace to be a stupid hole. Give it for free. Not capitalize on the interest in you. Why not to have a manager then? Stupid.
You see this church? I am building it. The people that visit are friends, not clients. I am not a dog walking on its hind legs.
Always thinking, charge these people. Pleasure on the elephant man's company. Something. Right spirit is everything. Do it in the right spirit and they pay happily. I take 10%. Would be okay with 10%.
Bad looks made you daft.
I helped you, John. Discovered you. Was that daft? No. Only daftness was being at a gold mine without a shovel. Without proper connections. Like Treves has. What's daft? Ross sows, trees harvest. Isn't fair, John, when you think about it. And I do think about it. So I'm married. Got something in my throat here, you may have noticed. Something in my lung, too. Something in my belly, I guess. I'm not in even health, am I? But I do well with 10%. I don't need more than 10%. Why 10% would give me a future slightly better than the cobblestone? This lot would pay if you did it in the right spirit. I don't ask much.
They're the cream, Ross. They know it. Man like you try to make them pay, they'll walk away.
I'm talking about doing it in the right spirit.
They are my friends. I'd lose everything for you. Ross, you've lived your life. You robbed me of £48, 9 shillings tuppence. You left me to die. Be satisfied, boss. You've had enough. You kept me in darkness like an animal. You come back to rob me again. Will you not be satisfied? Now that I am a man like others, you want me to return?
Have you had a woman yet?
Is that what makes a man?
Well, my time it do for a start.
Not what makes this one. Yet I am like others.
Then I'm condemned. I got no energy to try nothing new. I may as well go to the doll's house straight. Die there anyway. Between filthy doll's house rags. Nothing in my belly but acid. I don't like pain, John. The future gives pain sense. Without a future, 5%? John?
I'm sorry, Ross. It's just the way things are.
Am I gone? I'm lost.
Frederick? about God. I believe in heaven. The Bible promises that in heaven the cricket shall be made straight.
So did the rack, my boy. So do we all.
So you don't believe?
I would settle for a reliable general anesthetic at this point. Actually, I had a patient once, a woman. Operated on her for a woman's thing. Used ether to anesthetize. Tricky stuff. Didn't come out of it. Pulse stopped. No vital signs. Absolutely moribund. Just a big white dead mackerel. 5 minutes later, she fretted back into existence like a lost explorer with a great scoop of the undiscovered.
She saw heaven?
Well, I quote her. It was neither heavenly nor hellish. Rather like perambulating in a London fog. People drifted by, but no one spoke. London, mind you. Hell's probably the provinces. She was shocked. It was not more exotic, but allowed as how had she stayed and become used to the familiar, so to speak, it did have hints of becoming a kind of bliss. She fled.
Well, if you don't believe, then why did you send Mrs. Kendall away?
Don't forget, it saved you once, my interference. You know well enough it was not proper.
How can you tell if you don't believe?
There are still standards we abide by.
Oh, yes. They make us happy because they are for our own good.
Well, not always.
Oh?
Look, if you are angry, just say so.
Whose standards are they?
I am not in the mood for this chipping away at the edges, John.
That do not always make us happy because they are not always for our own good.
Everyone's. Well, mine, everyone's.
That woman, that
Juliet.
who died and came back.
Oh, I see. Yes, her standards too.
So,
So what?
did you see her naked?
When I was operating, of course.
Oh!
Oh, what?
It is okay to see them naked if you're going to cut them up afterwards.
Good Lord. I am a surgeon. That is science.
She died. Mrs. Kendall didn't.
But she came back too.
And Mrs. Kendall didn't, if you mean that.
I am trying to read about anesthetics. There is simply no comparison.
Oh.
Science is a different thing. Look, this woman came to me to be... It is not, well, love, you know.
Is that why you're looking for an anesthetic?
It would be a boon to surgery.
Because you do not love them.
Love's got nothing to do with surgery.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Do you lose many patients?
Some.
Oh.
Oh, what? What does it matter? Don't you see if I love, if any surgeon loves her or any patient or not, what does it matter? And what conceivable difference to you?
Because they are your standards we abide by.
For God's sakes. If you are angry, just say it. I won't turn you out. Go on. Say it. I am angry. Go on. I am angry. I am angry. I am angry.
I believe in heaven.
And it is not okay. They undress if you cut them up, as you put it. Make me sound like Jack the Ripper.
No, you worry about anesthetics.
Are you having me on?
Well, you are merciful. I myself am proof. Is it not so? Well, is it not so?
Well, about Mrs. Kendall. Perhaps I was wrong. These days, that is, seem to lose my head. Taking on too much, perhaps. I don't know what is in me these days.
Will she come back, Mrs. Kendall?
I will talk to her again.
But will she?
No, I do not think so.
Oh.
There are other things involved. Other things.
Well, other things. I want to walk now. Think. Other things. Why? Why won't she?
Because I don't want her here when you die.
If he is merely paper mache and paint, a swindler and a
No, no, he's a genuine Dorset dreamer in a moral swamp. Look, he has so forgotten how to protect himself, he's gone to sleep.
I must examine him. I would not keep him for long.
It would be an inconvenience, Mr. Merrick. He is a mainstay of our institution.
Exactly, that brought him to my attention. I'm Merrick. I don't have a card, but I'm with the mutations across the road.
Frederick, stand up. You must understand. He is very, very valuable. We have invested a great deal in him. Why, he is personal surgeon to the Prince of Wales.
Well, I only wish to examine him. I had not dreamed, of course, of changing him, Mr.
But he's a gentleman and a good man.
Ah, therefore, exemplary for study, as a cruel or deviant one would not be.
Oh, very well. Have him back by breakfast time, or you feed him. Frederick, stand up. Up, you bloody donkey, up!
The most striking feature about him, note, is the terrifying normal head. This allowed him to lie down normally and therefore dream in the exclusive personal manner without the weight of others' dreams accumulating to break his neck. From the brow projected the normal vision of benevolent enlightenment, what we understand to be a kind of self-mesmerized state. The mouth, deformed by the satisfaction of being at the hub of the best of existed worlds, was rendered utterly incapable of self-critical speech, thus the ability to change. The heart showed signs of worry of this changing yet unattainable state. The back, oh, the back. The back was horribly stiff from being kept up against the wall to face the discontent of a world ordered for his convenience. The surgeon's hands were well developed and strong, capable of the most delicate carvings up for others' own good. Due also to the normal head, the right arm was of enormous power, but so incapable of the distinction between the assertion of authority and the charitable act of giving, it was often found disgustingly beating others for their own good. Note the left arm was slighter and fairer, and could be seen in most typical position, hand covering the genitals, which were treated as a summoned colony in constant need of restriction, government, and punishment for their own good. To add a further burden to his troubles, the wretched man, when a boy, developed a disabling spiritual duality, so incapable of feeling what others feel, nor reaching harmony with them. Please. He would thus be denied all means of escape from those he had tormented.
Mr. Merrick! You have shown a profound and unknown disorder to us. You live that it would release here is for his prior life again. I do not think it ought to be permitted. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It's a pity and a disgrace. It's an indecency in that. It may be a danger in ways we do not know. Something ought to be done about it.
Well, we hope in 25 years or so, we would understand enough about this to put an end to this terrible affliction.
25? 25 years. 25 years? Sir, that is unacceptable. 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 Unacceptable.
Well, as reported earlier, things might have been different. But by now, it's spread both east and west. I'm afraid we are dealing with an epidemic.
Still beavering the way for Christ?
Yes.
I got your report. He doesn't know, does he?
The bishop?
No, I meant Merrick.
No.
I shall be sorry when he dies.
It will not be unexpected, anyway.
He's brought the hospital quite a lot of good repute. And quite a lot of contributions, too, for that matter. In fact, I like him. Never regretted letting him stay on, although I didn't imagine he'd last this long.
His heart won't sustain him much longer. It may even give out when he gets off his bloody knees with that bloody man.
Freddie, what is it? What's gone sour for you?
It is the over arc of things. Quite inescapable that he's achieved greater and greater normality. His conditions edged him closer to the grave. So, a parable for growing up? To become more normal is to die, more accepted to worsen? It is simply a mockery of everything we live by.
Sorry, Freddie, didn't catch that one.
Nothing has gone sour. I don't know.
Cheer up, man. You are knighted. Your clients will be kings. Nothing succeeds, my boy, like success.
I find my sessions with him utterly moving, Mr. Treves. He struggled so. I suggested he might like to be confirmed. He leapt at it like a man lost in a desert to an oasis.
He is very eager to do what others do if he thinks that is what others do.
Do you cast doubt, sir, on his faith?
No, sir, I do not. Yet, he makes us all think he is deeply like ourselves. Yet we are not like each other. I conclude we have polished him like a mirror and shout hallelujah when he reflects us to the inch. I have grown sorry for it.
I cannot make out what you're saying. Is something troubling you, Mr. Treves?
Corsets. How about corsets? Here is a pamphlet I've written, due mainly to the grotesque ailments I've seen caused by corsets. Fashion overrules me, of course. My patients do not unstrap themselves of their corsets. Some cannot. You know, I have so little time during the week. I spend Sundays in the poor wards to keep up with work. Work, being 20-year-old women who look and abuse 50 with worn outedness. Young men with appalling industrial conditions I turn out as soon as possible to return to their labors. Happily, most of my patients are not poor. They are middle class. They overeat and drink so grossly, they destroy nature and themselves and all around them so fervently, they will not last. Higher up, sir, above this middle class, I confront these same deformities. Bulged out by unlimited resources and the ruthlessness of privilege into the most scandalous dissipations yoked to the grossest ignorance and constraint. I counsel against it where I can. I am ignored, of course. Then what, sir, could be troubling me? I am an extremely successful Englishman in a successful and respected England that reminds me daily, by the way that it lives, that it wants to die. I am in despair, in fact. Science, observation, practice, deduction, having led me to these conclusions, can no longer serve as consolation. I apparently see things others don't.
I do wish to understand you better, sir, but as for consolation, there is in Christ Church.
I am sure we were not born for mere consolation.
Oh, but look at Mr. Merrick's happy example.
Oh, yes, you'd like my garden, too. My dog, my wife, my daughter, all pruned, cropped, pollarded, and somewhat stupefied. Very happy examples, all of them. Well, is it all we know how to deal with whatever? Nature? Is it? Rob it? No. No. Not nature, I mean. Ourselves, really. Myself, really. Robbed. Of course, you do see. Can't figure out what else there is to do with them, can we?
It's not exactly clear, sir.
I am an awfully good gardener. Is that clear? My God, I take such awfully good care of anything. Anything. We are convinced. Are you not convinced? Him, I mean, is not so dangerously human. How could he be? With with all we've given him. What you like, sir, is that he is so grateful for patrons, so greedy to be patronized, and no demands, no rights, no hopes. Past perverted, present false, future. Future. Nil. And he puts up with all of it. Who could ask for anything more? Of course, I do mean taken when I say given, as in what we have given him. But you knew that, I could tell, because I.
Do you mean charity? I cannot make out what you're saying, Mr. Treves.
Help me.
It is done.
Launch! Mr. Merrick. I'll set it up. Maybe you'd like a walk after lunch? April's doing wonders for the gardens. My mate Will. His sister died yesterday. 28 she was. Imagine that. Wife was sick. Sister nursed her. It's a real bloom, that girl. Now wife okay. Sister just ups and dies. It's also, what's that word? Forgot it. It means chancy. Well, forgot it. Chancy'll do. Have a good lunch.
Chancy.
We are the queens of the cosmos, beautiful darknesses empire. Darkness, darkness, lights true flower. Here is eternity's finest hour. Sleep like others, you learn to admire. Be like your mother. Be like your sire.
Remember it, Mr. Merrick. The word is arbitrary. Arbitrary. It's all so... Oh. Hey. Hey! The elephant man is dead! Hey!
Times. Sir, in November 1886, you were kind enough to insert in the Times a letter from me drawing attention to the case of Joseph Merrick.
John Merrick.
Well, known as the Elephant Man, it was one of singular and exceptional misfortune, etc. Debarred from earning his living any other way than being exhibited to the gaze of the curious, this having been rightfully interfered with by the police, etc., etc. With great difficulty, he succeeded at finding his way to the door of the London hospital, where, through the kindness of one of our surgeons, he was sheltered for a time. And then, while deterred by common humanity from evicting him again onto the open street, I wrote to you. And from that moment on, all difficulty vanished. The sympathy of many was aroused, and although no fitting refuge was offered, a sufficient sum of money was placed at my disposal, apart from hospital funds, to help him for a life that was not promised to be prolonged.
I forgot. The coroner stated that it was death by asphyxiation. The weight of his head crushed his windpipe.
Well, I go on to say how he spent his time here, that all attempted to alleviate his misery, that he was visited by the highest in the land, etc., etc. And that in general, he joined our lives as best he could. And in spite of all this indulgence, he was quiet and unassuming, grateful for everything that was done for him, and conformed readily to the restrictions that were necessary. Well, will this do so far, do you think?
Should think it would.
Wouldn't add anything else, would you?
Well, he was highly intelligent, he had an acute sensibility, and worse for him, a romantic imagination. No, never mind. I am not certain of any of it.
Well, I have given these details thinking that anyone who sent money for his support may want to know how their charity was used. Last Friday afternoon, though apparently in his usual health, he quietly passed away in his sleep. I have left in my hands a small balance of the money for his support, and this I now propose, after paying certain gratuities, to hand over to the general funds of the hospital. This course, I believe, will be consonant with the wishes of the contributors. It was the courtesy of the Times in inserting my letter in 1886 that procured for this afflicted man a comfortable protection during the last years of a previously wretched existence. And I desire to take this opportunity of thankfully acknowledging it. I am, sir, your obedient servant, F.C. Cargam, House Committee Room, London Hospital, 15 April 1890.
I did think of one small thing.
Right. It's too late. I'm afraid it is done.